Good day everyone, it is Krebskohu here with yet again another very exciting episode from the game Company of Heroes. So today we're going to be enjoying ourselves on the 2v2 map Duclair. I swear, I just feel like I'm doing team games all the time. I don't know what it is, maybe I'm just not getting enough 1v1s at the moment, but it seems like everything I'm doing nowadays is just team games. I guess it's probably just one of these spurts until I can actually find some proper 1v1s to get out for you guys. But in the meantime, we're going to be doing this one. And I particularly chose this one because I thought, you know what, it's not one-sided, but I do love the persistence of one of these teams. You guys are going to find out who it is, but the persistence is absolutely great. Even in the face of adversity, they just keep on going and going and going with just pummeling the enemy as hard as they can, right? So anyway, guys, it is going to be a sort of ugly looking day in Company of Heroes, and an ugly day over here in Scotland as well. It looks like the weather is kind of gonna roll in over here. But anyway, we're at the 5-second mark and we're gonna be starting in 3 seconds. So in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and on we go to another very exciting matchup in the Company of Heroes battlefield. So today we're going to be looking at two PE players. We haven't done PE in a while. One going by the name of AtomicIXeCuteR, the other one going by the name of, where is he? There he is, AtomicAllGunsBlazing. So obviously you can tell that there's a little bit of teams going on over here at the moment, and they're going to be taking on two Americans, one going by the name of CommentatorNoggano, and the other one, TitiTwister. There we go. So we've introduced some of these players in previous casts before, such as TitiTwister. I remember him fondly in quite a few of these casts, so he is an experienced player, and we're gonna have to see what happens out of this. But this is Duclair for you guys, and we have not done PE in quite a while. I know a few of you have been actually requesting matches with PE, and well, here you go. There's going to be some unusual tactics being developed in this game as well, so if you're missing the PE and you're missing some good old wholesome PE weirdness, well, here you go. Now, I gotta ask you guys a question. Out of all the factions out there, what do you think is the hardest one to master? Personally, it's just something about the PE. I gotta every now and then just check up like the Company of Heroes wiki about the PE and just learn it a little bit more, and I'm always learning stuff about them just because, I don't know, they're such a weird faction in comparison to the Americans, the Wehrmacht, the Brits. I'm absolutely mastered with those, but the PE, there's just so many obscure things about them that it takes every now and then you gotta read up about them and just get reminded. Are you guys the same with that, like that with me? Or is it just myself? I don't know. I just get this impression that they're just a sort of weird doctrine, aren't they? So anyway, what we've got is some guys up here doing some combating, and I believe the sound is a little bit low. So again, I'm gonna pause at 2 minutes exactly and increase the sound volume to something a bit heavier. Maybe, is that okay? Hopefully that's gonna be okay. Save that and resume, and we're gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, and resume. 201, 202, 3, 4, and 5, and now it's quite loud, so hopefully that's gonna be okay. Hopefully I can hear myself as well. But anyway, we've got some skirmishing going up north and some capping going down south. So overall, it looks like the P already getting chased up from the northern sectors because there's way too many engineers and also a jeep to be pushing off all of these guys. Too much to deal with. Too much to deal with just these six men, these 6 Panzer Grenadiers over here. Whilst down south, it looks like what we've got is sort of the same stuff going on, except not as many engineers. One engineer squad just going down with scout cars coming out for Executor. Also his Kettenkrad, I believe, getting the camouflage ability upgraded there, if I saw correctly. So that was obviously clearly the Luftwaffe doctrine. And oh my gosh, the scout car tearing apart those engineers. Look at that. They have almost like a mass grave right there, all piled up on top of each other, and the scout car not being too friendly. Oh god, rolling on top of them multiple times. What is the reasoning behind that? Can you not be a bit humane about it? So 2 squads already going down for the Americans. Up north, we can see that the jeep over here, it looks like it's going to be taken out perhaps, but we'll have to see. Gewehr 43 is already insta-suppressing down the squad, and I just played an epic game. We'll also send you this one, and I forgot to actually switch on over to another account because I have a feeling you guys are going to be messaging me whilst this is all going on. But anyway, we've got a good job for these Gewehr 43s to be suppressing this rifleman squad, because you can tell that the PE really wants to take out this Jeep, and this rifleman squad coming along the side here was just gonna probably ruin their day. Nice job to getting them out of the way, suppressing them, reducing their fire rates, and now just chasing them away altogether. Actually taking out that Jeep as well. So what a turn of events for the Americans. They thought they were gonna at least, you know, keep that Jeep alive, but unfortunately not so. Notice how the PE up north also had incendiary grenades upgraded, just preventing those engineers from staying put and actually repairing that Jeep. So well done for them. We got the Americans coming back in with numbers here. But are the PE going to realize that they need to retreat? Yes, thankfully. They're going to be getting out of there. Hopefully not going to be dying, but we'll see. But more scout cars coming out for Executor. So you guys know what this means. This means the logistics company has been actually built by the PE over here. Look at this. We've got leapfrog from logistics over to the Panzer Command. Let's take a look at how many units they have. Only 2 PG squads, 2 scout cars. Unusual stuff, because what we see a lot of times with PE is that they get 4 or 5 PG squads. Now we've got 2 PG squads, 2 scout cars. You might be thinking to yourself, well, this is kind of bad. I mean, considering how big Duclair is, aren't they going to be lacking in terms of capture rate? Well, if you're not an experienced PE player, well, I'll just let you know right now, these scout cars can capture, and they capture at 100% capture rate. So unlike the PGs, which capture at a 50% capping rate, which is the slowest in the game, these things can cap at a normal pace, and so it makes up for that lack of capping rate that the PGs have. And so combined with the Kencrad that is out in the field, that is great stuff to be actually supplementing your capturing force. With the logistics company, whatever you bring out from it, you need to take in effect as soon as possible. These scout cars are lightly armored. They're not going to be great late game, and so you need to use them as effectively as possible early on. Great thing about it, though, is, well, let's talk about the scout car a little bit, since we're divulging a little bit into them. Well, the scout cars, they get these logistics upgrades, as you can see on them, effectively allowing them to lock down sectors and basically act like a sort of, what do they call them? Command posts. Yeah. So you can lock down these territories and get more resources out of them. But not only that, when they're also locked down, these scout cars can also get an extra 50% maximum health. Alright, so that is really important. If you want to maximize the usefulness of your scout cars, make sure you lock them down, get that 50% boost, health boost, and not only that, they also get a 15-fold increase in their suppression. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But unfortunately, it's not really that much, because the values are quite low themselves. So a scout car that is locked down will only have effectively a third of the suppression value of an MG42. So if you had 3 scout cars and they're locked down, they would have the suppression capability of an MG42, a single one. So it's not that much, but it's still that present. So it could work to some effect if you had supporting your scout cars, some PGs. It could work, I don't see why not. Anyway, we've got some armored cars coming out for Executor. Noticed how he had that leapfrog up to the Panzer Command, and so supplementing his forces there. Now I can see some stuff happening over here in the distance, and my oh my, that is quite a steep hill. You don't really appreciate this stuff from normal perspectives, but that is a steep hill. You gotta wonder how these men don't take a tumble and fall and roll down the hill. If anything, they should probably be getting some big wheels, some big rubber tires, and you know, pushing themselves down the hill. I don't see why not. Just a joke. But here we go, here we go. Riflemen coming back in force over here. So let's switch on over to some of the Americans and see what they're up to, right? So let's take a look at their forces. You can see multiple rifleman squads and multiple engineer squads out for Nagano over here. Also the PE coming back with an infantry half-track. So that means what we've got over here is an the Kampfgruppe company with a leapfrog up to the Panzer Support Command. Obviously, infantry half-track being produced from that Kampfgruppe company. Oh no, engineers. So, you know what? It looks like the Americans are doing quite a decent job in actually holding on to territory, but they're losing a lot of guys, aren't they? Throughout this match, we've seen engineer squads go down, jeeps go down, man, a lot of stuff going down. And what the hell is happening here? We've got mines being taken off and Kettenkrads being demolished, and riflemen moving on up here with their bars. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. But lucky for the PE, they've got a bit of a force to be reckoned with here. You can notice that the PE are coming out with a Luftwaffe squad. Interesting sort of stuff. Luftwaffe over here. Why would people be doing that? Well, chances are they're probably going to be doing it is because they're not going to be getting any advanced repairs on their Panzer Grenadiers. Alright? The reason being, if you look at Executor, we saw that leapfrog up from the logistics company to the Panzer Jaeger command. Unfortunately, he's not going to be getting advanced repairs, and so that is why he's probably got Luftwaffe to help get these vehicles repaired more faster. As you can see, look at that fast increase of repair. Very good, very good. Not only that, you know, the great stuff about the Luftwaffe is that they can build these nice emplacements like the Flak Vierling and the Flak 88. That is great stuff. I love those things. Oh my gosh, we've got a scout car going down. That's what I mean. Early stuff. As soon as bars or any sort of medium or even light tanks come out, they just, the scout cars fall apart. And so, in later mid-game or late game, you just keep them back. You know, at the edge of his territory. If you see that men are moving on forward, then, you know, move them away. That's what you probably should be doing. Okay, but anyway, we've got some armored cars over here just chasing away those airborne. They were a bit too frontal, and now they don't even have their recoilless rifles upgraded yet, so they can't even do anything at the moment. And here we go, we've got a clown car. Notice how all these guys are huddled up inside the infantry half-track. That's why we call it a clown car, just because it's such a tight space. It's such a tight, cramped space, but yet there are so many men close up together in there. And here we go. Notice how we've got some guys over here putting down some, oh, what is that? What is that? Sneaky scorched earth tactics over here. Gonna be booby trapping these points. So that is the scorched earth tactics out for one of the PE players. Notice how there's an M8 just coming out in the distance over here. And all of these men are moving up forward. So who would you say is actually winning? 11 minutes so far into the game. You can't really tell. It is a bit difficult to tell, isn't it? The Americans are moving forward with their new teching stuff, with the bars and also the AT guns. But the PE still have quite a bit in terms of anti-infantry. Look at this. But then again, so badly damaged. So badly damaged. You need to move these guys on back forward. And let's move back to a normal perspective. Oh gosh. Be careful, be careful, be careful. What we can tell for the Americans is that they've obviously upgraded with their AT guns. So there's a motor pull coming out for one of these gentlemen over here, Nagano. A fast tech up to the motor pull. Those AT guns are definitely going to be needed at this point of the game because way too many vehicles here. And notice how the PE were doing all these kiting maneuvers. If you don't know what kiting means, it's basically to try and keep your distance from the enemy and just trying to maneuver yourselves away from them, right, in any sort of fashion. And so that's what they've been doing. They've been kiting the allies, and the allies just needed something else to just counter these armored cars. And so now they've got that AT gun. Good start indeed. Oh my god, these recoilless rifles devastating this other armored car here, and they're going to be going in for the kill. They're probably going to get it off, and no! 2 armored cars gone like that, one down there, another over here, and all we've got left is a single armored car. That is not looking good for Executor whatsoever. Armored cars going down like that is the last thing that you need, and so the Americans are going to be able to capitalize on this turn of events over here. And so you can tell all of them just taking a good hold of the southern and center portion of the map, whilst the northern is being captured by the PE up here. Notice how there's also a funk wagon just coming out, a vampire half track. It's not actually placed on anything, so this is a little bit pointless at the moment. If anything, all it's going to be doing is sort of revealing enemies in, you know, on the tactical map. That's probably about it. Actually, I want to see if you can maybe see it. So let's head on over to Executor and turn on the Fog of War. And this is probably not a good example at the moment, so we'll wait until it's going to be a better time for it. And then maybe we'll be able to see it. Unless it gets destroyed, of course. Come on! Vampire half-track, don't get destroyed! Phew! These airborne having to retreat now. Way too many guys to have to deal with. I notice how these techings are coming into play here. The PE responding with, I suppose they're working towards probably later game armor at this point. Notice how they're not really producing more and more armored cars. They're not going to be going for a massive armored car spam. Another one actually coming out over here. But they're working towards something more. They got a funk wagon. They're going to try to dwindle down the Americans as best as possible. Cancrad over here just being a sneaky Cancrad, isn't he? Behind enemy lines. So let's take a look. Can we find where this funk wagon is? Funk wagon, oh, where art thou? Here it is. And maybe if I turn off the Fog of War, we'll be able to see if anything can be spotted in the distance. Well, we can not see really anything. No, I don't know if this is a matter of the units being too far away, or if this is a matter of you just can't see it in replays. But the main idea is that funk wagons, when they are activated, they are locked down, they can actually reveal the positions of enemy units in the Fog of War, and that's really useful. So here we go. That's what we needed for the PE to be coming out with some later game stuff. We've got AtomicAllGunsBlazing coming out with a Panther battle group, one already down, less than half health, and a damaged engine. Wow, talk about almost being taken out prematurely. But I guess these guys being a bit too bold, being having too much bloodlust in their eyes, they really want to take out this Panther, but now they're just going to be taking a lot of casualties here from all these men, the armored cars as well. And what the hell just happened there? I have a feeling the armored cars destroyed their own Cancrad. I'm pretty sure that's just what happened. I have a feeling that that was random stray of fire from the armored cars, and they were actually just destroyed their own Cancrad. I've never seen that before. It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen, but that is funny to actually see that happen. And oh my gosh, armored car going down over here because the AT gun, they weren't smart enough. They should have flanked these AT guns whilst they had the opportunity to do so. They could easily have done it, but they chose not to. So let's take a look at what's happening across the battlefield at the moment. This AT squad going to be look like it might go down quite soon over here, and no, it's actually going to stay alive. And that's what we've got going on. Alright, so for Executor, he's got Luftwaffe ground forces. For AtomicAllGunsBlazing, he's got that Scorched Earth tactics. Notice how he's got also the sector artillery activated on the vital on the munitions over there. For CommentatorNoggano, still nothing chosen. And TitiTwister with that obvious airborne doctrine selected because we saw those paratroopers come out. And it's been working to some good effect, hasn't it? I mean, all these vehicles such as the armored cars, scout cars, and Panthers and such coming out now. Airborne isn't a bad doctrine to go for. I mean, a lot of people that I see hate going for it just because it's sort of an odd doctrine, you know. It is quite costly in terms of manpower, but it pays off quite well. AT guns anywhere on the field. You can just airdrop them whenever you need them. You can get recoilless rifles with your airborne squads. That's good AT stuff, isn't it? Especially against all of these vehicles. Oh god, Panther going down over there. That's not good. So these Panther battle groups going down really fast over here. Mortar half-track coming out for AtomicAllGunsBlazing. What I like about this stuff is, yes, they are going for teching up for their Panthers and such, but notice how they're also getting some stuff some units that they could have easily gotten before, such as mortar half-tracks. I actually noticed that in a lot of PE games that they'll get mortar half-tracks later in the game if they haven't already done so. Reason being is because, well, most specifically for immobile units, stationary ones such as the AT guns. That is a great thing, a great counter whenever you got those mortar half-tracks to be pummeling away. Also to even throw down incendiary rounds. That is great as well. And so the PE have a moment in time right now to actually move back in on the Americans to capture what they've lost. And we'll have to see how long they can hold on to this, because we've got the Americans coming back in force here with some squads and also the AT gun at the back. But oh my god, all these guys are huddled up against the hay bale, and well, they were, but man oh man, that would have been a perfect opportunity for the mortar half-track to just land a shell right in the heart of those guys. Look at that! Can you just imagine a shell right in the midst of them? It'd be a massacre, but it would be epic in a way. Armored car going down from a sticky bomb. Wow. How I didn't actually think that would have happened.
We're losing a strategic secured sector.
I mean, it got damaged there. I thought it at least probably would have had a sliver of health left, but I mean, it wasn't even a Vet 3 rifleman squad. A Vet 3 I could understand with, you know, 50% extra damage, but it wasn't even Vet 3. So fair enough. The PE losing that armored car, but overall the Americans having to retreat, and what we've got is an M10 coming out. Rifleman squad supporting from the back, Kenkrad going down, and all this stuff is just clashing. This is just non-stop clashes in this game all the time. All these opponents hitting back at each other with just what they can. Panther in chase here with this M10. I guess the M10 just probably has no chance, no hope in hell of getting out of there, and indeed, no hope in hell. Being destroyed, taken out, and I don't know what the hell this Panther is doing. It's going in the weirdest direction ever. Whoa, that is lucky. Talk about luck. I mean, a sticky bomb was gonna go off on that Panther there. You saw the rifleman just about to throw it on there, but he was actually killed by what looked like to be some sort of small arms fire. So that meant another rifleman member in that team had to actually start the animation again over to throw the sticky bomb. That gave the Panther some opportunity, some vital seconds to get out of there. Wow. Again, something I've never seen happen in Company of Heroes before, but it's all up to luck. Luck of the draw, that man being killed before a sticky bomb could go off. How frustrating for the Americans, indeed. Oh no, oh no. Recoilless rifles, airborne coming in from our flank. Very, very vulnerable here, and what we've got is a bunch of Luftwaffe just huddled up over here trying to repair this Panther, and oh my god, strafing run coming down on top of these squads. Massive casualties for the Panzer Elite. Almost two squads going down, one full squad going down, almost another squad going down with one member surviving that. And a Panther being destroyed at the same time because this AT gun just too much damage, too much penetration, finishing off that Panther. So massive casualties for the PE right there. Man, normally under any other circumstances, that strafing run would not have killed so many Luftwaffe, but they were repairing. Just meaning that they were prone to extra damage. And that's what happens, and they were all huddled up, and oh gosh, hello, pass for me, and so the PE taking massive casualties there. What an effective strafing run! But to be honest, it's the PE's fault. I mean, what they should have realized is, come on, they're asking for it. The Allies were right there. They had an airborne squad, paratroopers at the front. Their Luftwaffe were repairing a Panther at the front, so they just, all the signs were leading to some sort of strafing run. They should have been aware of that. They should have just retreated everything back, moved everything back, and they would have been alive. It would have been a lot better of a situation now than it currently is, right? Sticky bombs going off on this one Panther. Tons and tons of Panthers in this game, hasn't it been? unfortunately, this one being immobilized, so it's not going to be going anywhere anytime fast. Chances are everything's going to be closing on it relatively soon. This other Panther's almost knocked out over here. Could another sticky bomb be going off? Yes, it is, and it's out of control, but it finished it off. Finished the M10 off before it could explode. Great stuff. Another unfortunate draw of luck for the Americans. But at least the Panther going down on the positive side, but losing an M10, unfortunately. This Panther going down. Look at that massive experience. Plus 43 XP being gained for what actually looked like to be the Rifleman squad. How unusual. I thought the AT gun would have gotten it because he destroyed it, but I don't know. It looked like the Rifleman squad got the veterancy there. That's a bit strange, if you ask me. Maybe it's because they had a sticky bomb on it. It was a glitch or a bug or something of some sort. So, okay, that's a bit weird. Maybe I'll have to watch that again to actually make sense of that. Could be a bug. Don't know. Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, considering how many other bugs there are in 2.602 at the moment. But okay, Americans coming back with some more armor. Look at all the wrecks across the field at the moment. Non-stop action right across the field. But what I really don't like about the PE is that just how frontal they are with their men. With their units, sorry, their vehicles. Oh god, another vehicle going down. And more squads going down for the Luftwaffe over there. One Luftwaffe squad going down. More casualties could have been made if that strafing run was right on top of the other squads that were coming in to do more repairing. So if there's a lesson to be learned, and a lesson that hasn't really been learned by the PE yet, is come on, keep your guys back. And still they're not learning. Why are they building a Flak 88 at the front lines? This is horrible play. Absolutely horrible. And what is going on? We've got a Berge-Tiger on the front lines repairing an armored car. Are they that desperate to make men? I know a Berge-Tiger is really armored, heavily armored, but this is the last time. This is the worst timing to actually try to get stuff repaired.
Our forces are taking casualties.
When there are recoilless rifles, sticky bombs, and AT guns right at the right at your heels, a few meters away from you, worst timing ever. And look at what the Americans are doing now. They're destroying the wrecks. Again, another thing you have to realize about the PE and with certain units. This is what I would say. Whenever you're the PE and you're playing, when you're using vampire half-tracks or Berge-Tigers, never ever reveal them to your opponent, because you need to keep them a secret, okay, for as long as you possibly can. There's a sort of an essence of secrecy behind them, because if your opponent doesn't know that you have, say, a Berge-Tiger out, then they probably won't bother destroying wrecks. If they do know you have a Berge-Tiger out, then they're going to destroy wrecks, and now you can't actually salvage them. Same applies to vampire half-tracks. If they don't know you have a vampire half-track, chances are they might not notice that their resources are being cut off. Chances are they might not even look for a vampire half-track, but if they know you have one, then they're going to be actively searching for it, and they'll be aware of any resources being taken down for them. Oh my god, Flak being torn apart over here. Again, another horrible decision by the PE to be building it right on the front lines when there's all these guys right here. Why? I don't understand the reasoning behind it. But what we've got is an AT, or an armored car, coming out from the back, killing these AT guns. So much is going across the field at the moment. Look at this. AT gun damaging heavily the armored car, but so many Panthers finishing off their own Flak. What? Again, such turn of events here. So much action going on. Man, Flak being destroyed by the PE themselves. And so that was a waste of the... I suppose it wasn't a complete waste for the Americans to try and capture it. They damaged the armored car, but didn't finish it off, unfortunately. And now the Americans in full retreat, with the PE coming back with some force. Panthers over here. But if you look at the VP, 464 for the Americans with 102 for the PE. Not looking good for the Axis over here whatsoever. Scorched Earth isn't really helping. So if I was the PE at the moment, what I'd be really thinking of right now is Scorched Earthing the VPs, destroying them, preventing the Americans from capturing them. What I'd do certainly is Scorched Earth this point, maybe even booby trap it. Scorched Earth potentially even this point over here, and just keep this one in your hands. That's what they could at least do. Oh, so if we haven't noticed, we've got a Sherman Calliope coming out for CommentatorNoggano. He was the one that didn't actually choose his doctrine yet, but he chose the Armored Company doctrine. That's why he's got Calliope. So he went down along the right hand side. He unlocked his what do you call it, Allied War Machine and Raid. And he's got that Calliope out, so that is going to be a hassle on the Wehrmacht. Wow, these Fallschirmjägers decimating these squads over here, including the armored car, pulverizing them. Fallschirmjägers, I absolutely love these guys. I think they're a bit underrated. They're the underdogs of the Luftwaffe doctrine. Very powerful guns that they have. Not only that, but they have some really useful abilities. If they're in light or heavy cover, they can actually camouflage. They can be called out of neutral buildings. They can throw anti-building grenades, which the flame that's activated from those anti-building grenades actually lasts for a long period of time. I think it's something like 90 to 120 seconds, so it's a long time. And it does constant damage over that period, so you can negate men coming through choke points. You can damage buildings such as emplacements and such for a long period of time. Effectively, say what you could do is, if you ever have to rush a bunch of emplacements, or you have to rush some city, just throw off 2 AT grenades or anti-building grenades, and over time they'll effectively do something like 500 HP damage each of them, and you'll destroy those emplacements that you needed to do, right? But oh no, PE being way too bold here, and now they're having to live with the consequences. Calliope doing massive damage. Whoa! Wrecking one Panther and pretty much destroying the other one as well. 2 Panthers gone just like that, even though they had so much health just a matter of seconds ago. This other one kind of untouched, but damaged engine because of sticky bombs. More strafing runs. Man, this is really annoying me now. These PE are not learning their lesson here. If they're gonna get their stuff repaired, move it back. Don't let any sight from the Americans let these strafing runs come down on top of them. It's really frustrating me right now. I mean, come on, just if you're ever gonna repair, make sure that you have some that you're safely behind your front lines, right? Oh my god, out of control Panther killing some of these guys, and the armored car finishing off the paratrooper squad. Man, it's like the PE are taking so many casualties, but the Americans are no stranger to it as well. They're taking so many casualties as well. Oh gosh, Panther being taken out there, and an instant veterancy too out on this AT gun, and this armored car coming in for a quick flank. Notice that it has flanking speed activated on it, and it looks like it's going to be trying to take out these AT gun members. Yes, indeed, well, that's what they're doing. And Sherman trying to support them a little bit over here, with the Panther coming in from a flank from the side. I've got to see what's happening across the field, because there is so much action happening at the moment. This is non-stop action, isn't it, guys? I'm so overwhelmed. My god, if you know that cheat from StarCraft, power overwhelming, this is what it is. This is power overwhelming. Sticky bombs going off on a wreck. I didn't know you could do. Oh god, I wasn't. Okay, I thought that was a sticky bomb. I suppose that was a bit too long of a timer. That was actually the airborne throwing a satchel charge on the wreck, preventing the Bergentiger from bringing it back to life like a zombie tank. And now the Bergentiger out of control. No, huge casualties. I think eventually what has to happen here is that one team has to take too many casualties, and that is what is happening with the Americans at the PE right here. They're taking far too many casualties, losing way too many. They did such a great job on damaging, on decimating squads and AT guns here and there for the Americans, but I guess they just became too frontal with everything. I mean, what they should have done was just done their damage to the Americans and just held back a little bit. And that is AtomicAllGunsBlazing dropping out with 6 VPs left. They obviously knew they didn't have much left to bring back onto the battlefield, right? That's also Executor dropped out of the game, and the playback is over. Still a few Luftwaffe squads on the field, ready to repair a vehicle that does not exist, unfortunately. No vehicles to repair except that scout car. And so the Americans have won that battle! So I hope you guys actually enjoyed this episode. Very intense throughout. You didn't really know who's gonna win. The Americans had a really good strong hold of the territory right on throughout the game. But the Wehrmacht were just coming back constantly. It looked like, you know, all these losses of Panthers and such were going to be too much, but they just kept on coming back with these armored cars flanking from the sides, knocking out these AT guns and finishing off these paratrooper squads. It looked like it could really have been a toss-up there. Anything could have changed, but the Americans destroying whatever the PE had left because they went in for too much of an assault. If the PE had to realize something, simply put, sticky bombs. Just never ever get close to rifleman squads when they have sticky bombs. You know, recoilless rifles, hard to deal with. If you can flank AT guns, go for it. But always be careful of sticky bombs and also calliopes. That's another lesson to be learned. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a very nice day. Until next time, I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.